Hey, what's happening everybody? It's Damron. We're playing Elder Scrolls Online. In this video, we are in the Morrowind expansion, and we're going to be covering the Tribunal Preacher achievement, which tasks us with reading all 36 sermons of Vivec scattered across Vardenfell or Morrowind. There's actually 37 sermons, and I'll show you where all 37 locations are, but only the first 36 of these lessons are required to unlock this achievement. But nonetheless, I will show you all 37 locations, and I'll show you probably the most efficient way to grab them. I'll go ahead and show you a map of the locations. Again, I did not make this map. Credit to ESO MMORPG.com for this map. I did not create it, but it's still kind of hard to find if you just look at these locations because some of them are in buildings. Again, these are kind of just small lore books that we got to find. So, you know, the map is nice, and I'll show you. We're going to kind of take a route. We're not going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to be going in a way that we can get all of these in a very efficient way. And how we're going to do that, we're going to start in the northwestern section of Vardenfell, and we're going to go kind of in a counterclockwise direction around this map, kind of grabbing all of these in the most efficient way possible. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start at the kind of Fort Ald Sirach in the northern portion of Vardenfell. So you go ahead and go up here. This is where we're going to start, and kind of in this central area, the first sermon we're going to get is sermon 15, which is kind of right beside this wagon that has a bunch of bullseye arrow targets kind of sitting in it. So go ahead and grab that, and we're going to get moving on. So we're going to head west from there. We're going to head west to the Urshalaku Campway Shrine, and you can see I'm kind of just southwest of that, just south of the Ashawama kind of delve, right? I'm kind of just south of that at the edge of this body of water on the northwestern section here. So this is where I'm at. That's the water formation, and right on the edge of that water you'll see a backpack, some dead fish, a fishing rod, as well as sermon 3 sitting right there for you to read. So go ahead and read through that. And now after we've got that, we're going to head south from there to the town of Nissus, and actually right in Nissus, the main building is where we're going to be going to. You can run there, or you can go to the Nissus Way Shrine, but we're just going to be going into the Nissus Temple, which is the main building kind of right where that icon is. Once you go inside the temple, head to the second floor, go around to the back side, and we're going to find this sitting on a bench right there for us to read. And I just want to take a brief moment to give a shout out to Shimmer, who originally kind of made a guide. I used it to find some of these locations. I tried to make it a little bit more efficient and brighten up the gameplay to make everything a little bit easier to find. So moving on, we're going to head east from Nissus. We're a little bit northeast of Solithan's Council, which is a world boss in this section, and we're kind of off the main path, and you're looking up against the rock. You'll see this kind of what looks like an entrance into like a small temple. Just in front of that on the ground is going to be sermon number 31. So go ahead and pick that up. Moving south from where we were going to be heading kind of right beside Kartog Point Delve. You can see I'm just east of that, really right where that entrance is, kind of at the edge of the body, you know, edge of land near the kind of ocean, so to speak. And if you look across from the entrance of the delve, you should see a campfire, a backpack, some kind of, bed rolls, as well as our next sermon sitting on the ground here. From that delve, we're going to continue south. There's a small little island here, kind of on the midwestern section of Vardenfell. This is actually an area that is trespassing, so you will be trespassing if you go in this area, but it's a small little compound, and there's kind of outer perimeter wall where the entrance to go inside that, you'll see tucked up in there is our next sermon. So go ahead and pick that up. Again, you might get a bounty kind of heading to this direction, but, you know, don't worry about it. We're just grabbing books right now. So from there, we're going to head straight east. Okay, so we're going east quite a ways. We're a little bit northeast of Nilthog's Hollow, which is again a world boss. You can see I'm kind of off the main road there. Again, head all the way up to the kind of mountain edge, and you should see again kind of one of those what looks like a temple entrance, and right on the floor of that is going to be sermon number 16. Moving on from sermon 16, we're going to be progressing south, so we're actually going to go to the town of Balmora, which you can zoom in on. It's going to have its own map, and in Balmora, we're going to head to the northwestern section where the Balmora Tribunal Temple is, and we're going to go ahead and go inside there. So again, this should be easy to find. It'll be marked on your map, but once you get here, go inside the temple, and in the back left of the room next to a lady sitting on a table is going to be sermon number 25. So go ahead and pick that up, and we are progressing along. Again, there's a lot of these to get, so we're just going to go ahead and get moving on. We're going to stay in Balmora for our next one, and we're going to kind of cross this channel that kind of goes through the middle of Balmora. We're going to kind of be on the eastern side of the town, particularly this building that I'm showing you, which is Rethrand's house. And again, this is a house that you're going to have to trespass to get into, so just keep in mind that you may get a bounty, but nonetheless, go in there however you want. You can stay hidden, you can kill everybody, do whatever you want, but once you get inside, head inside, and we're going to head downstairs and just kind of hang a right. We're going to keep hanging a right all the way until we get into the sleeping area of Rethrand's house. And once you get in there, you know, right next to the bed, sitting on a dresser, is our next sermon, which is going to be sermon number 36. All right, from Balmora, now we're going to head kind of southwest a little bit. You can see we're at the Musa camp, which is a crafting area kind of in this area on the western side of Vardenfell. So go ahead and head over there. And this one's a little bit tricky to find, but if you go exactly where I was on the map, you'll see on the kind of backside of this rock is going to be kind of a skeleton, an old camp, as well as this book sitting right here on the ground. So just kind of go right where I was on the map, and you should be able to find this. Continuing east from there, we're going to go to the Vizier Didonot mine, again just kind of east of where we were. You know, go into the central portion of the mine. You can see I'm kind of up on this wooden path. You're looking for one of the wooden stairs that's leading up to a tower, and you're going to find this barrel with the Sermon 33 sitting on top of it. So you may have to look around in here a little bit to find this particular barrel, because it all kind of looks the same, but just look around in that mine, go where I was, and you should find it. Continuing east from that mine, you can see that there's a small kind of body of land kind of jutting into the western side of Amaya Lake, and if you go into that land area, you will find a fishing lodge. So go ahead and go inside the fishing lodge, look to the left, and just at the floor of the bed here, you're going to find sermon number 21. So go ahead and cross Amaya Lake. So you can see I've just kind of gone across. You can swim, you can do whatever you want, but go to the other side of Amaya Lake, and you're going to find, you know, a couple buildings here. But if you go kind of down to the dock area, or kind of the back side of this building, you should see a couple of crates here, and on those crates is going to be sermon number 32. Still kind of around the Amaya Lake area, we're going to go north now. So you can see I'm just east of Foyata Quarry, just east of that, again, north of Amaya Lake, where we just were, a little bit west of the Miranda's kind of crafting area. You should see a kind of road that is being built. Here it's kind of under construction, and on one of these kind of large planks of wood is going to be sermon number 23. From that, now let's head south to Saran Way Shrine. We're going to get a couple books in the Saran little town here. So from the Way Shrine, just head south into the little town of Saran, and we're going to go on the back side of that first building that we come across. And on the back side, there'll be a small dock. Again, on that dock will be some more crates, similar to a couple ones previously ago. And right on the ground of the dock, you'll find sermon number 2 sitting next to this stack of crates here. Still in the town of Saran, now you're going to basically head to the kind of southeastern little area of Saran. It's a small little set of buildings, but you should find the Saran temple here. So go ahead and go into that temple, and once you go into the temple, head to the back side of the first floor, and you're going to find sermon number 4 sitting right here on this table. Staying in Saran, now we're actually going to just cross the water. There's a few small buildings just across the water, still in the Saran area. So once you cross to the other side, you should see this small building here that you can kind of go under this archway. It'll have a little courtyard, and on this bench here is going to be sermon number 6. All right, progressing down from Saran, from the Way Shrine, we're just kind of continuing south. You can see we're just going along this kind of main road here. We're a little bit to the west of the Al-Sotha point of interest, just off the main road. So that's actually the point of interest where that wall is. So you can see we're kind of just west of that point of interest, and kind of in this kind of crevice of rock, you're going to find sermon number 24, along with some other kind of, you know, sacks and things. All right, from that, we're going to just continue west. You see this kind of small little building off the main road just north of the main city of Vivec. So you can see where I am on the map. And if you go there, you should see a small building. Again, it's going to have a dock kind of just beside it leading down to the water. If you go down that dock, you should see a little rowboat with sermon 11 sitting right inside the boat. After you've grabbed that, we're going to continue west. You can go along the main road, or you can just travel to the Seyda Way Shrine, whatever you want to do. But once you get there, we're going to go into this small town of Seyda, and we're going to be going into the governor's office. So go ahead and go inside the governor's office. As soon as you come in here, hang a left, and you're going to go to the census and excise office. And as soon as you go in here, now we're going to hang a right, and we're just going to take this path all the way to the right. Don't go down the stairs. If you go down the stairs, you've gone too far. But if you hang a right, you should see sermon number 1 sitting right here on this desk. Now we're going to progress into the kind of main Vivec City area, so you can kind of take this way shrine to the Vivec City way shrine. So we're kind of on the west side where all the crafting stations are and the battlegrounds are, kind of in this area. So just kind of to the right of the jewelry crafting station and the enchantment crafting area, you should see these kind of planks leading up behind that. Take those planks up behind that, and behind some wooden crates, you will find sermon number 10 sitting right on the ground for you. After you've grabbed that, we're going to head into the main city of Vivec. You can see we're on the kind of bottom right of the 4 little building structures here. Okay, and we want to be on the second level of that. Go where I was on the map to enter the St. Ohm's Wasteworks. As soon as you go in there, the first room on your left should be the Farmers and Laborers Hall. So go inside, and right in front of you, next to some sweet cake rolls, is going to be sermon number 35 right there on the table for you to grab. So go ahead and grab that. That's the only one we're going to be grabbing in Vivec City. Kind of surprising. You'd think there'd be more in the city, but nonetheless, now we're going to head east all the way to Tel Brenora Way Shrine. This is all the way in the southeastern portion of Vardenfall, and you can see right in front of you from the Way Shrine, we're going to be going to the kind of southeastern building, which is Dalen's house. You will have to break into Dalen's house, so you will be trespassing. So if you are seen, you're going to get a bounty. As you can see, I just got one there. But as soon as you go in, hang a left, go down the stairs, and once you get to the basement, you're going to find this sermon sitting right here on this table, really next to some very cool wooden chairs. But that's sermon number 5, so go ahead and pick that up. And we're moving on to sermon 37, which is in the same area, Tel Brenora Way Shrine, and this time you're going to go in this large tower. So this particular sermon is not actually required for the Tribunal Preacher achievement. Again, that only requires that you read 36, but indeed there are 37, and the 37th sermon is in this building. So if you do want to get it just for your lore collection, I'll show you here, even though it says right the 36 lessons. Oh, here's lesson number 37 in this building right on this table here. So again, it's not required for the achievement, but if you want to grab them all, certainly go in here and grab sermon 37. So after we've gotten that, we're going to head north from Tel Brenora Way Shrine all the way to Malagmar Way Shrine, which is just directly north of us. And right beside the Way Shrine, you should see a fishing dock on which is a post that's going to house sermon 28 right there beside the Way Shrine. So that's a super easy one to find. You may have indeed actually already had it just from happening to spot it. So from that, we're still kind of near the same Way Shrine. We just went east just a little bit from the dock, and you can see right in the water is another rowboat. Right beside the rowboat on the ground is sermon number 18. Again, that's just east of right where we just were, so those two are very close together. Continuing on, we're going to go northeast of Malagmar Way Shrine. You can see where I'm at, just west of Holamayan Monastery. So we're kind of right here. Again, just go where I am on the map, and if you go here, you should see some kind of Daedric ruins, and there will be a dead body next to a wagon, and right next to the dead body is going to be sermon 20, so go ahead and grab that. Now we're going to head into the Holamayan Monastery itself. So I don't know why I'm doing this on the map, trying to kind of just get over here, but just, east of where we were. So kind of cross over the body of water to this point of interest. And there's going to be a large building, which is the, monastery. Right in front of that, there's going to be some barrels. On the barrels, going to be sermon number 29. So we're progressing on. We're kind of, at the tail end of this. So this has been a pretty nice way to get to these, very efficient. But north of the monastery is the Tel Galen house. This is a house that you can purchase. So you could just travel to that for free if you want to travel outside of it. And you'll actually see this one right in front of the entrance into the house itself. On the ground is going to be sermon 27. So that's a super easy one to get. So you can just kind of fast travel to that if you want to. If you own it, you can travel for free to the outside and it'll be right there. Nonetheless, nonetheless, moving on, we're going to go to Sadrith Mora, which is a small town in northeastern Vardenfall. And in Sadrith Mora, we're going to be going into the Gateway Inn, which is kind of on the eastern side. Again, this is going to be on your map. It's not like a thing you have to identify, so you can look for the icon for the inn. And as soon as you go inside the inn, we're going to head up to the second level. And as soon as you get up here, you should see on a table our next sermon sitting right by this fireplace, sermon number 7. From Sadrith Mora, we're going to head northwest just a little bit to Tel Arun. This is its own icon on the map, and you're going to have to actually go through a door to, quote, go into Tel Arun. And once you go through that, you will then have to go into another one in order to get into Vedran's house. And again, this is also breaking and entering, so you will be trespassing. So if you get spotted in here, again, you will catch a bounty, but you don't have to go far into his house, because as soon as you walk in, the next sermon is sitting right in front of you on a chair, so you could just grab it and leave, and you shouldn't be able to catch any bounty. From that, we're gonna head southwest to one of these Dwemer names. I don't even know how you pronounce Chuleftinth. You know, it's just north of the public dungeon, so you can go to this way shrine. I probably butchered that. I'm not sure. These pronunciations on the Dwemer places are crazy, but right beside that way shrine is going to be a broken wagon. Inside that wagon is going to be sermon number 26, so grab that, and we're progressing on. We've only got a few more to grab, so we're going to head up north just from the main road of that way shrine all the way to the Fallon Serrano ruins. And when you get to those ruins, just head all the way to the top, and on the top you'll see a cooking fire. You're going to see a wagon, you know, a little cot, all that, and you'll also find sermon number 14. Alright, so from those ruins, we're going to head kind of northeast a little bit. You can see we're just kind of east of the Polk Delve. Just east of that, right off the main road, what you're looking for is just a kind of random gate that's kind of sitting right off the main road. If you find this gate, on the inner side of that gate, you should see some benches on which is our 34th sermon. So go ahead and grab that. We've only got 3 more to grab, so we are moving along. This is pretty easy to get all these. Nonetheless, east of that Polk Delve is the Haunted Tower kind of point of interest, and you can see I'm just north of that all the way to the edge of the water. And if you go to where I was on the map, you will find another dock housing a boat. Inside that boat is going to be our 9th sermon, so go ahead and hop in there and grab that. Moving on, we're going to head northwest from just where we were, kind of the northeastern section of Vardenfall, to the town of Voss. Voss has a lot of locked doors. This is a great place to kind of work on your picking locked doors achievement if you want to go for that. But nonetheless, in Voss is the Gathering House, which is in the center portion of Voss. So go ahead and head in there, and you're going to immediately turn right, and you'll find Sermon 8 sitting on this table in the Gathering House. Our final sermon that we're going to get is sermon 17, which is also in the town of Voss. You're going to have to kind of take the path all the way around. It kind of weaves around Voss. You're going to have to take it all the way to kind of get to the end of this path, and there's going to be some houses and things that are kind of in this rock face. But if you take that path all the way around, what you're looking for is Athram's house. And again, this is going to be a locked house, so you're going to have to break and enter. You will be trespassing, but once you go inside, we're going to go ahead and head up to the second level, and we're going to find our 17th and final sermon sitting on this beautiful wooden table here. I love this table. It's one of my favorites in the game, actually. But nonetheless, if you get that, you will unlock the Tribunal Preacher achievement, which is for finding all 36 of Vivec's sermons. Again, there's 37, but we found all 36 for the achievement Tribunal Preacher. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I tried to make it very efficient in a way that we could grab everything relatively quickly. Again, I hope you found it helpful as always, and hopefully I'll see you out in Tamriel.